In problem 7, we have another problem that deals with a geometric figure. So we have a rectangular garden. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw the rectangle. So in the last problem we had a square, 4 equal sides. In this problem we have a rectangle, so the width and the length are different. We know that the perimeter is 48, so that's given. Now we're also given a relationship between the length and the width. A relationship could always be expressed as an equation. So if the length of our garden, so length is 6 feet less than twice the width. So keywords here, the length is, so that's L equals, the length is 6 feet less than twice the width. So 6 feet less than, we're going to subtract 6 from twice the width. So if the width is W, so let's label that on our figure. You could use X and Y or W and L. I'll use W and L here. So if the length is 6 feet less than twice the width, so twice the width would be 2W, and 6 feet less than, we'll subtract 6 from that. So we want to express all sides of the rectangle symbolically. So we have W will represent the width, and now 2W minus 6 will represent the length. If you just use W and L, so let's say we took this approach, W, W, L, L, and the perimeter is 48, well, 2W plus 2L equals 48. Now the problem with this is to solve an algebraic equation and get a numerical answer, you need a single variable. So basically, if you have two variables, you need a system of two equations. In this case, we only have one equation. So we have two variables, one equation. This has infinitely many solutions. If we take this approach, well, we've labeled each side of the rectangle using only one variable. Your goal in any problem should be to use the fewest variables as possible. One is preferable. And you use more than one variable only if you have to. So in this case, we have a rectangle with a perimeter of 48. So perimeter equals 48. Perimeter is defined as the sum of all sides. So we have 4 sides. W plus W plus 2W minus 6 plus 2W minus 6 is equal to 48. So collect like terms. We've got 4 terms with the W. So these guys are like terms, and we've got 2 numbers. So on the left-hand side, we've got a total of 6 W's, and a minus 12 is equal to 48. We want W by itself, so we could get rid of the minus 12 by adding 12 to both sides. On the left-hand side, we have 6W. On the right, we have 60. We could get rid of a times 6 with a divide by 6. So we'll divide both sides by 6. 6's will cancel on the left. So we have W is equal to 10. Now at this point, if you circle W equals 10 and move on to the next problem, you'll probably lose a point because you haven't answered the actual question. You always want to make sure you're addressing the actual question that's being asked. Find the dimensions of the garden. So the dimensions is length and width. So we know that W is equal to 10, so to answer the question, we'll say the dimensions of the rectangle are 10 feet by, now if we plug 10 in for the W in length, 2 times W minus 6, 2 times 10 is 20, 20 minus 6 is 14. So the width is 10 and the length is 14. So to answer the question, the dimensions of the rectangle, 10 by 14. We want to include the units, so 10 feet by 14 feet.